Those who don't know who we are wrong. Spelled XrongMovement. I don't even know how to spell my own brand. We're not just a brand, we're a movement. We stand against social ills. We call it out when it's wrong. Our hashtag, that's just wrong. We are an online retail store. We supply comfort wear, and we supply comfort wear with purpose. Everything we do with purpose and with passion. So please follow us. Follow our social pages, check out our website, make a purchase, and support the movement. Wrong is a Black female-owned company run by myself, Makhanya, aka Mandisa. I am a co-founder and a director, and I run it with Onati, who is the co-founder and director of the company. We're going to be discussing various topics today around challenges that young people face. Some of these challenges I too have faced, and some of them I still face today as a grown adult. In fact, this is the reason why Wrong Brand was born in the first place and came into existence. Our goal today is to reinforce and to re-highlight what we already know, hoping that perhaps we can spark a thought, we can evoke an emotion, a feeling of empowerment, or maybe confidence to those who have been affected. And perhaps we also hope that to those who have been making other people feeling less of themselves can start to go through a process of introspection, perhaps with the hope to want to change, or at least start thinking about how their actions have affected others that they've affected. So, for today, as we start 2024, I'd like us to start with a few discussions, as I said, topic discussions, one of them being bullying. I've got young people in this room that I would like to discuss this topic with. But before I get into that, some really shocking statistics that I'd like to mention, taken from an article written by Megan Harrington Johnson, which was published on the HJW Attorney's website. So just for a moment, think about these statistics. 3.2 million learners are bullied yearly in South Africa. More than 67% of bully victims don't even want to ask their teachers because they don't think that the situation will change. 90% of school bullying is carried by learners. 160,000 high school learners bunk school to avoid being bullied. That's a shocking statistic. 1 in 10 learners drop out of school to avoid being bullied. And 16% of learners admit that they have been victims of cyberbullying. So as I said, I do have with me today some young people in this room, in the studio, who have actually connected with the Wrong Brand, the story of the brand movement, and have fallen in love with the brand. So with me today is Ramoroka. Ramoroka is a professional model. He took a gap year in 2020. Well, actually finished matric in 2022 and pursued in 2023 to pursue modeling. And he has actually modeled some of our fashion pieces of Wrong. He's an amazing, you've seen him, I'm sure you can attest to that. With us also, we've got Mahlatsi. Mahlatsi is studying dentistry, and she's now in her second year. Woo-hoo! And then, of course, we've got Lusega. Lusega took a gap year in 2023 to go travel after she finished matric in 2022. Yes. Yeah. She's also helping her parents run their catering family business. So she's very much entrepreneurial. Yeah. With me also, we've got, obviously, what I've already mentioned before, the co-founder and director, Onati, who's also in studio. She has helped set up this business last year when we started in 2023. But actually, the idea itself has been born many, many years ago, over a decade ago, but only was started to be established last year officially. So, and I do have on the side, not part of the studio at the moment, a little person of mine, 3-year-old of mine. As a young mom, she had to come and see how the action is done. So her sister is sitting with her, but she may come to studio at some point if time allows. So, shout out, and let's start the discussion.
Yeah.
So, Ramu, I think let me start with you. Mm-hmm. Have you been bullied?
Yes, I have been bullied.
So, tell me, how was that experience?
Well, it wasn't primary, so obviously I didn't have the emotional intelligence to actually say that, okay, it's actually not that deep, you know? So it would be things like, you only play with girls, you dark skinned, yeah, like petty things like that. So my experience, I guess, I can't necessarily say how I felt because I don't remember, but
You didn't recognize it as bullying.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
just like, oh, okay, these people sharp, you know. So yeah, if I could say now, obviously,
Looking
it was
back.
not a pleasant experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I think if I can just relate to that dark skin, when I was growing up as well, I mean, I did mention it at some point, I think, when we were having some discussions some weeks ago, that the world was all about light skin. Anything dark skin was not seen as beautiful or handsome, or, you know, it was looked very bad upon or down upon. So
Yeah.
I can almost see how you could have felt otherwise, you know?
Yeah.
Onati, have you been bullied?
Yes, I have.
How was that experience for you?
At that time, yes, I did know that I was being bullied. I was more teased, and I just wasn't treated nicely, if I can say. Yeah.
Do you have some examples of things that were spoken to you or said to you
It was more
or done
of-
to you?
Yeah, done to me. Because, okay, my friends know this, that I hate being tapped, right? That's one of the things, like my pet peeves, I don't tap me. But they don't know where it stems from. They'll know today. So, in my transport, I used to sit middle seat, nyana sort of vibe, and then there'd be people at the back, and you know how kids are. So every day after school, we may be sitting, and I was the last kid being dropped off, so it's about 2 hour drive from 3 o'clock being picked up from school. I get home at 5. So I'm the last person. So I have to bear with this pain the whole time, 2 hours. So at the back, children are sitting, tapping me. You look back, they'll say, it's not me. And you can't even argue with them. You can't. At that time, like, I'm so annoyed, and I'm just, it's just, it
Getting
it became
frustrated.
so much and annoying and everything, and you can't just keep looking back and Gwena, you're outnumbered anyway. So
Plus, you
that's
were
just one
dealing
of the
with a lot of
things.
other issues in between, right?
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yes.
yeah. I
So
was
that just adds to the aggravation of going through life.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Lusaga, have you ever been bullied?
Yo,
Have you ever been
definitely.
witnessed being bullied? Someone being
I
bullied?
have been bullied as a result because I was so frustrated. I think I ended up bullying other people around me, because I remember I got bullied like when I was in primary. I was in an aftercare, and I got bullied so badly that every time I got home, the little kids that I would play with, I would bully them. I would make sure that they know I'm older. I think looking back, I was so miserable as a child. Like, why would I? Also, it comes from not knowing yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're like, you know what, I want them.
to feel.
Sometimes you don't even realize that you're making them feel what you were feeling
Like you
instead of
felt
helping
small,
them.
yeah.
Exactly, like
That's what
you're
I
just
feel
making
bullying
them feel exactly the way, but you're older. And I used to do it. It's very sad, but sometimes looking back, and I'm glad that I can say that I did it, and I realized that it was wrong because I was
Taking
very wrong.
accountability,
I was very young, so because I hate people bullying people because it results in them being miserable, mistreating other people too.
It's the bully.
So
Besides,
that's very interesting. The bullied being
Become
a,
the
becomes the
Yeah.
bully.
yeah, it's
So it's interesting how we always reflect what we've gone through on other people
Yeah.
without consciously doing it. So it sits in the subconscious.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
yeah.
Mahlatsi, have you gone through it? Have you
Yes.
experienced it?
Firstly, like it was in primary, it was for my name, because a lot of people, if I look back, I'm just like, they were just being so, they weren't smart.
Says the girl who took so many distinctions at matric. She knows all about being smart, right?
Yeah.
So now, like, they would just make fun of my name, and it's just like, it had no sense.
Yeah.
And it also made me not like my name. But then I started to just see the beauty in my name and how much
True.
it carries. And then in high school, it still hurts because it's like from friends, you know. They don't realize they're bullying you, but they actually
They're making
are.
fun of it, so they think it's just a small thing.
And also from my other friend, when we spoke about it, it's just like, it actually comes from them deflecting, like we just spoke about. Some people, they take their insecurities and put it onto you so that they can feel better. But then I didn't let it affect me. But for a few years, it did influence my self-confidence. But when I look back, I'm just like, that person had a lot more they were worried about themselves. So that's why they always pointed out one thing about you so that they can pick themselves up. So you shouldn't allow that to happen, because people are actually dealing with things and then they just try to pour it out on other people so that everyone can feel as down as they do.
But I
Yeah,
also
but
feel
also-
like sometimes we shouldn't really,
I love the passion, guys.
yeah, like I feel like sometimes we shouldn't make an excuse, like to say it's because of they feel bad about themselves.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's just who the person is.
Yeah.
Do you understand? They just decide to behave like
To
that.
be
Yeah.
And I just want to add, also to like my story, is that in primary, I was not very. We're not in a good financial state, right? And so I had these two friends who, funny enough, actually became close with once upon a time, even though they treated me so bad. Where sometimes they would buy things for themselves. I remember once they bought themselves sweets. And then, because I couldn't afford those sweets, they shared it among themselves. And then they gave me like maybe 1 or 2 out of the pockets. Just because of my financial status.
Ouch.
Kids are so annoying.
Bro, it's so, like, what are you?
They're unnecessary.
Also, to touch on what you said, like things that trigger you now, when you are like, when someone
Tapping.
taps you, me, it's like when someone comes to my face, because it was a thing of, what will you do, like coming to my face. So when like we're not on good terms, and then you actually come to my face,
Yeah. So I mean, how did you bounce out of that whole experience? Is
I think I just like started talking to my mom about it, and then after that I was just like, there's nothing wrong, so I just moved on. Yeah.
You see, that's the the statistics that I read here was that those who were being bullied didn't want to tell the teacher because they didn't feel that the situation would change.
Yeah.
And so you empowered yourself by speaking out and speaking to your mother, right?
Yeah.
So at least you got to understand that at some point I need to speak out because then I need to empower myself. Because if I'm silent and dying in my corner, how's this going to help? Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we want to encourage today as well, is to speak out.
Exactly.
Because we can only help when we know that there's a situation. If you're keeping it to your corner, we don't know what's wrong, so we can't help you.
Yeah.
So speak out. Take this brand and be confident with it and empower yourself with it.
Before we move on,
So what were you saying?
Mandisa,
Yes?
have you been bullied?
Oh, wow. No, I have never actually been bullied.
Wow. Must be nice.
I've never experienced bullying, luckily for me. I think because, I don't know, that's just my personality. I'm able to, and I think I took this from my dad, right? My dad was, he knew how to be at different levels with different people. So he would accommodate different characteristics and personalities, and I think I learned that from him. So I just gel with people from onset. I've never had that issue. And also, I mean, I do look good, so I never...
Sorry.
So if anything, people just wanted to be close to me because of just my aura, you know. I think people have mentioned that a couple of times that I've got a good aura, and people just want to associate themselves with me because I'm just very welcoming. Like typically, that's how I am. And I think, like I said, I probably take that from my dad because he was the strong-willed man, but he knew how to accommodate people. So yes, no, I've never been bullied, and I thank God that I've never been bullied. But obviously, as a mom and a mom of 3 girls, and hearing them going through it, it's obviously very painful. And I can't relate because I don't know how it is. But I'm giving a platform where we can have these discussions and highlight these discussions and empower those young people that, you know what, if you are doing it yourself, please stop, think about the consequences and what you're putting other people through. But also, if you are going through it, speak out, as Ramu said. He spoke to his mother. Trust your mother. Trust the people around you, or older people around you, to help you through it.
For me, I think it's not that easy, guys, because I was growing up. I was a people's pleaser. And so I'm like, yo, I don't want to tell on this girl because she won't talk to me. Kanti, she's talking to me, she's bullying me. Her talking to me is bullying me. So I was like, I remember I didn't tell my parents until 2 years, I think after 2 years. Now, Corner, it's not like I was like, oh, let me tell you, this and this is happening. It just slipped and, she's doing that to you, yeah, she does it. And to me, it was like she does it, it's fine.
It's whatever.
But because I'm scared of her not gonna talk to me when I get there, I'm like, I'm not gonna tell on. I am keeping quiet.
Listen,
I'm keeping
I don't
her.
think anything is ever easy, especially when you're a young person. Everything is exaggerated in your head. Everything is mushroomed in you.
Yeah.
So everything is just like, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming. So, but that's why we're saying that this platform is a way to kind of start making you think a little bit differently about your situation, because I'm sure out of these 4 people here, there's 1 or 2 that you're relating to that the stories that they've given here. So another very important topic of discussion that I'd like to bring to this platform today is the issue of body shaming, which obviously has ripple effect in terms of your body image, how you see yourself. And I think most of us here, I've never heard of any girl, even at my age, right, who's ever said anything about, like, every girl has been very conscious about at least one body part, and me, I come from, our families are actually the worst people to give you body shaming. I'm sorry. You meet with that auntie.
I was about to
Yes. I mean, come on.
Families
It's like we don't see it ourselves.
It's like obviously I wake up and I see this every day.
And they say it like just like it's
Yeah.
not like it just comes out
Yeah.
and then they move on with their lives. You know what I mean? Yesterday I went to my mom's house and I met this one of our neighbors. And she was like, oh, udla ini? Ngicela ungiphi lento oyidlayo ngoba uyabona ukuthi ukhuluphele. And I'm like, hayibo.
Really?
But obviously usually what I do is I normally turn those situations around and make a joke about it, because I'm now old, I'm married. I'm like, oh, my marriage is nice, I'm enjoying myself, that's why I'm big like this, I'm comfortable. But like, not everyone can say that, right?
Children, how do we take
Exactly.
that?
How do you take as an 18-year-old, a 16-year-old, whatever age, 13-year-old being told I mean, come on, like how does that, So I think even our families can really contribute to how we feel, and it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
So have you experienced that? I mean, how are you feeling about your body image, and have you had people telling you about your weight, something about your body part? Like, how have you taken it, Lusega?
I think for me, growing up, I was very conscious of my shoulders. I have very broad shoulders. If I can stand up, I look like a boy. If you just look at my shoulders from the back. And I swear, guys, I take it from my mom. Like, but growing up, they're like, oh, you look like a boy. Yo, you're so strong. I'm sure you're strong like us. Wow. You know that, like, okay. And so because of that, I never wore tank tops. I would always wear stuff that would cover my shoulders like this, because I'm like, who wants to see bulky shoulders? And then when you learn about puberty, they're like, yeah, gents, boys get broad shoulders, and you're like, hi, boy, am I a guy? What's going on? Is there something wrong with me? Then growing up, I'm like,
This is who I am.
bro.
Yeah.
And then recently, last year, when I came back from Cape Town, everyone's like, hey, Cape Town, kudliwan. Ukulpele.
Ah, good Sam.
At the time, I was like, hey, boy, am I really?
Yeah.
Then I'd ask my friends, Unati, like, do I look fat? I think you remember, like, I was very, like, then I got used to it. I think now I'm just like, you know what, it's fine. But my family sees being fat as like, wow, life is good.
Life is
Like, if you're skinny.
But I think most cultures, though,
Yes.
black cultures in
Yeah.
particular,
Yeah.
that's how they see, and that's why I joke about it like that when somebody will say, yeah, and I'm like, yes, it shows I'm happy, because, but I mean,
There's
you
no need,
guys, I mean, I'm sure you guys have more. I can imagine. You guys were very like sport active when you were
Yes.
young, right? And obviously you're not as active anymore on a physical level. So you must have picked up a kilo or two.
Or more.
which is normal, like you
Which is
grow.
normal. So I mean, how's the experience been for you?
I feel like this year more than ever, last year, because I played like almost every sport. I was sports girl of the year.
Yo, like,
I
okay.
like was
Yes,
Yeah.
girl.
so active. Then going to uni, like you don't really have control what you eat. They give you the food. You can't choose. You are studying
You're
the
in
whole
res.
day. Yes, I was in res, so I
Yeah.
didn't even cook for myself. So I started gaining weight, and it's also new to me. Like it's just like I've low-key kind of been the same size I was from a very young age. Like maybe I used to wear the things I wore in grade 5.
Yeah,
They still used to
so in high school you were still wearing primary school
clothes. Yes,
Yeah.
they still used to fit. I've been a small, and then I just expanded. Also, me, the parts. I'm like, oh, this exists. Oh, and it's just like, and then people just comment like,
Yes.
what? Like, Khanda, this is you, family, comparing you to.
Yeah.
It's just like, but
And
I
it's
really.
usually family. Like I don't
Always.
understand that.
And you can't
Always.
really, you don't know what to do because you try to exercise, but it's just like, at the same time, I also can say we're growing into our adult body
Yeah.
more than
exactly,
anything.
transitioning.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then I also think like it's a part of accepting like, okay, this part I can change, this part I can't change,
Yes.
this habit I can change, this habit I can't change. And also, like I said, I was bullied by my friends. And then they like also highlighted some body parts that I didn't like. And then it also like grew onto me that I like when I look at myself, let's say I start loving myself, I'll just focus on that part and try change that part because I just think of the things they used to.
So now you're more
say
conscious of it than
of
you
that.
should be.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have, you can see my lower lip is a bit bigger, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I was growing up, that was like the tease for me. Like they would tease me about my lips, even my own family, right? Who your lips, and they would
But
like,
they're so nice.
they would do that. But funny enough, as I grew older, and Hokena the lip gloss time, and put lip gloss, and everyone was like, wow, your lips, right? And then obviously because I've got that brown lining on the outside,
Natural.
now everyone is like, whoa, your lips. Now I'm like, you know what I mean? Now people are doing, what do you call it? Injections, they call them.
fillers.
Botox, and now
Lip
it's like full
fillers.
lip, and I'm like, oh, you know, so they make you conscious and it's unnecessary when we should be actually embracing everything that we have because that's part of our identity.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? Can I just add? Like, let's say they used to say they want thinner people. Then it changes after 2 years.
Yes.
They want thicker girls. So it's just like, you need to just...
You need to
you
have to own it.
Yeah, because if
You
you're going
have
to
to own
change
it.
and try impress what's happening,
Then that
you'll
trend is
never
gonna get
win.
over, and then you change for that. Then it's over.
I mean, look at you, Ramu. Now we're seeing about Alec work, about like global stage, dark skin, owning that and making millions out of it, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure now you're at your best time. You're like, oh, dark skin,
I was still telling him
exactly.
I was still telling him, bro. I was still telling him that his face is so almost perfect because people pay for the shape,
the face that he has.
the cheeks.
No, it's not almost. It's
It's
perfect.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like
That's why we
Don't make him
chose
blush.
together.
Don't make him blush. Don't make him blush.
he almost looks like a live AI.
Yeah.
That's how he looks. He's like his face, and people pay for that till this day.
They do.
So,
Real.
So body shaming, I
even
feel like it's always, I don't know
It's
if this,
also a form of bullying.
yeah, it is.
and like I don't know if this is gonna count as I'm body shaming, but it's always the ones that look, you know.
You are body shaming. You are body
Person is deflecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So, but I hear what you're saying. When you say it's always the ones that have problems with themselves.
Yeah, I got.
I got
Gabi.
Yeah.
Hi, Gabi.
But also, like, you know, my family thinks saying, "Ukhuluphela umuhle." They think that's a compliment.
But when you think
Yeah, they
And I
my aunts really think
And we also
saying,
need to have those real discussions,
Yeah.
like honest discussions, right?
Yeah.
Yes, there's an issue of body shaming, but we also need to be conscious that we need to be healthy with our bodies,
Yeah.
right? Because we need to extend the life expectancy. We need to just also it just helps mentality and like how do I put it? It just helps you navigate through life easier when you're healthy.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Because your health status affects your mental status and so many other things.
Yeah.
And you're able to get around things very quicker. You know what I mean? So as much as we don't want to body shaming is always going to be wrong.
Yeah.
But at the same time, let's not relax too much about sitting in our weights and thinking, oh, well, I
Or
mean,
use it as
what
an
am I going to do?
excuse, like that.
You know what I mean? We still
Yeah.
have to take that conscious decision of making those improvements in our lives. And it doesn't have to be drastic. Because I've tried diets, guys. I'm not doing it anymore. I've killed myself doing diets. Right? I've done, you benting, listen, I've done it all. Now I'm just like, okay, gradually change some things,
I
right?
think it must be
So
Balance,
realistic.
It's realistic, exactly.
Drink more water.
So if you add 10 minutes of your time to activity, if you
Study your body.
and then I've done that, right? Because I have been over it for a very long time, especially after having my third child now. I've been struggling to get that weight off, but in the last few months, I mean, when I look at the scale, I'm like, okay, girl, okay, you're getting there. Because I'm not pressurizing myself anymore, right? Because we also pressurize ourselves that we want to conform to the standards of the world. We need to look this way, we need to look that way. We're actually now defining ourselves by the standards
Trying
of...
to shape your December body in October. Yeah, you are running.
Sorry, and also you look back at how you used to look, and it might just you compare yourself.
And Matthias has put it correctly when he says you are growing into an adult body.
Yeah.
I have an adult body, I cannot run away from it.
Yeah.
You know, and an adult body that had three children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, come on, you have to
Yeah.
be realistic. And all of our body types are different, and all of our body types require different dietaries in terms of, you know, like my body, I'm an O plus. You know, so I can eat as much meat as I can, and it's okay. Some body types, if you eat too much meat, you're gonna balloon out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just understanding also the body type, the blood type, and all of that, and just being conscious.
And also your genetics.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just so happen I just don't gain weight, but I eat a lot.
You see?
Yeah, so it's just like, yeah.
Like also when you see, when you see, no, like I want you guys to imagine this. When you're going out and you see a lady that happens to be big, like really big, not just big, and maybe she just broke her fast and now she's like, yo, let me go have 5 burgers. You will judge her. But when you see a skinny person, you'll be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And so you make her feel like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, like she's worthless. What she
Yeah.
did. And also, by the way, we actually forget that there's other issues, health issues that trigger obesity,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Which come from backgrounds of mental issues, of abuse, and other things, which we're not
Yeah.
going to get into today. So people need to appreciate that our body types are different, our situations are different, our circumstances are different, and all of that, you know, make who we are. But obviously, we don't define ourselves by our situations. I don't encourage that. But I do say that you do not point a finger. In fact, don't throw a stone when you've got a glass house.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
You didn't know it. Oh my gosh.
I think we all do it like subconsciously. We body shame other people. without
Yeah.
realizing. So we're not saying we're better, but we're just saying.
Yes.
let's be better.
Like watch what you say.
I love
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Own that.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I'm really happy with our progress, and I think you guys are giving it all, right? And I love the passion, and I love how it's just going and flowing. So another very pertaining topic that I had in mind today was around teenage depression. You see, I'm a mom of 3.
Yeah.
I've had my own teenage children at some point in their lives being depressed. I never knew it was depression at the time. I just thought they were acting up.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the? So, and I can imagine how many other black parents, particularly, with this type of, like, you know, we just typically think, hey, Lorna, or rata drama or what.
Yeah.
We actually don't understand that there is an actual thing called teenage depression.
Yeah.
So let me just give you some symptoms around it so you can understand how. So maybe even the parents, if they're watching, they can actually start to look at their children and be conscious, oh, this is happening, maybe.
Yeah.
It's not to say that these are, you know, this is what it is. It's just that if you see a pattern of some of these symptoms, it could be that your child is going through teenage depression. So one of the things is emotional changes, erratic emotions, you know, mood swings, behavioral changes, dramatic behavioral changes, no energy, like very tired all the time, insomnia, or sleeping too much. Also the use of alcohol and or drug abuse, as well as changes in the appetite. Either they eat too much or don't eat at all. These are just some symptoms. So I just want to expand on that and say, like, you guys, have you gone through any of this stuff at any point in your life? Like, even if wasn't a long extended period of time, but have you experienced it at some point in your life and you're like, you know what, but I didn't know it was this. Do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't say it was teenage depression per se, because I feel like it's part of being a teenager sometimes, you understand? So I wouldn't call it depression. It's just something that happens like
Naturally.
So I wouldn't say I was like I had depression or anything. I was just going through what a normal teenager goes through. Yeah. So I just somehow managed to balance it out. Okay, I need to stop doing this. I need to stop doing this.
So let me just flip the script a little bit. I actually want to bring Bulu onto the set quickly. Please,
I don't mind.
Nancy, can you just swap it out a little bit?
She wants to go out.
Oh, you don't have to? Okay. Okay, so we're going to swap it out a little bit. As I said, we've got a little one in the studio as well. And Bulu's going to come on set and she's going to... Woo! And let's shine. Ramu, please clap. And what you're going to obviously notice, none of us here in the studio are wearing makeup, right? So one of the things that the brand stands for is really just to embrace yourself as you are. It's not to say that there's anything wrong with makeup. If people want to do makeup, it's on them and that's their thing. But what we're saying is that it doesn't always have to be about frills. It doesn't always be about makeup. You can just embrace yourself as you are. So, you wanted to be on the set. Bulu, welcome! So you relate to this topic, right? Teenage depression. How did you, by the way, I mentioned some symptoms here about, erratic behavior, about mood swings and so on. Can you relate with any of these symptoms?
Usually, because that's me most of the time, being angry and always dwelling in things, never seeing the positive. That's how teenagers always act, because I don't know, I feel like it's a thing of, also we feel like we don't get love from our parents enough. We feel neglected. That's why we act the way we do. And also, this is a very sensitive topic, but I'm just gonna say it. I got so depressed to a point where I actually tried to commit suicide and I was rushed to hospital. So my stepfather came in, and while I was on the floor, my mom was crying because obviously my daughter's about to die. So if he didn't come on time, I was literally gonna be dead.
It's so dramatic.
But she was crying. She was crying though. And I was unconscious, I couldn't hear anything. Literally my pulse was gone, they thought I was gonna die. And then we went to hospital, we got there. And the doctor was like, yeah, okay, she's coming back to life, Saba well something, and I'm like, yeah. So yeah, honestly, I feel like parents should really consider the fact that it's not only things that happen in the house, it's also the things that happen outside that make teenagers very conscious. Also things like style and the way other people dress, affordability of the clothes that they want. Sometimes they can't afford it and they get depressed by that. Also because financial reasons. So parents don't see that and they just want to see, they just never want to see the cause of the problem. They just want to see that this child is disrespectful. But they never want to. It's also a thing with black parents, they won't ask a lot. They will ask once, and then if you say, no, I'm fine, they'll just
Can I ask somebody say, I'm the parent, the child.
Yeah.
When do you get to a point where you're like, do you think it's better for you to communicate with your mom, this is how I feel loved. I feel loved when, do you think parents should have that talks like that with their kids?
Yes.
How do you feel loved? When do you feel loved? What do I do that makes you feel loved?
That's interesting.
Maybe if, I'm just saying, maybe for other parents or other, maybe to just, Mom, I feel loved when you and I are just sitting together in the room, no unati, no khanya, and you're asking me questions. That's when I feel loved. Or I feel loved when you dish up for me. It can be little things that you're like, really?
Yeah.
And do you think
No,
that could have been, or maybe it's just something beyond your control? Or
honestly, I feel like it's not something beyond your control. I feel like also asking little things like, what are your interests? That's also what parents do not ask. And that also affects a child because it's just like, oh, my mom doesn't know me and she doesn't want to know me. So, yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't word it like that, like to be how, like, to use the word love, because every parent loves their child.
Yeah.
Story. So I would use it as, like, how to,
Better the relationship.
yeah, understand, like, how can I be a better parent to you?
yeah.
Yeah.
I used the word love because she said she feels like there's lack of love. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I didn't say
Oh.
It's like, I didn't say there's a lack of love.
Yeah,
I know
that's-
that my mom
yeah.
loves me, but like, you know, sometimes you just feel like, okay, like, does this person really actually know me or actually have the interest to know me?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would like to
So it's
say,
a relationship issue.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Not
Well, I'm
a-
also learning. And I mean, that experience, I'm glad that you actually volunteered to talk about it because obviously it's your personal thing. When it happened on that day, I was extremely panicked. I thought, my God, this child is like, how, I mean, for me, I think my first reaction was, how do you not value your life that you want to actually kill yourself? I think that's where I was going through. I was like, is it life so bad and so terrible that you actually want to take your life? But when she explains it in this way, and I get to understand that she was going through other deeper things.
Yeah.
And yes, she's right when she says, you know what, you ask once and you leave it. That's me, I'm that parent. I'm just gonna ask you, if you don't wanna tell me, I move on with my life, right? Because I'm just like, you are a child. You're a black man, you're a child. So this child must just not, you know what I mean? So I guess we all learn, and I mean, it's a different age now, it's a different lifetime. Tina, we grew up with parents who so now I must talk, now I must show emotion. I don't know how to do that. I mean, I've never had that from my parents, you know what I mean? I've never had that, even now, like, when I hug my mother and kiss my mother, it's all very awkward. It's just like, hi, mother, but it's very awkward. The whole emotion thing, it's not our thing. And it's not been our generation. And you guys are more emotional in your generation, and we don't know how to be that. You know what I mean? And I think it's something.
So clingy, like, I love that because
But you're a boy, I guess. There's something about boys
sons
and
and
their mothers, right?
So like my mom, it's like, my mom over everything, you know. So it's like it really depends on like how you guys start to communicate.
Yeah.
Understand? Because sometimes little things can actually cause a big like conflict in your relationship.
Yeah.
Like things like, let's say, sometimes parents don't realize that actually you are like neglecting a child. You understand? Like things like, okay, so today mom, this and this happened, and then they don't actually understand how, like, how can I say this?
They don't pause, they don't give time.
Yeah, it's like they say, oh,
Okay,
it's not
okay,
like
yes.
Yeah.
and it's like hot dog.
Oh, they make it small, sound like it's a small
Yeah,
thing.
so
They don't
it's things like
recognize.
that.
Can I just add
Wow.
also, in light of teenagers, your parents are also learning how to be a parent.
Yeah.
You get what I'm
It's their
saying?
first
Like
time.
it's not, there's no manual to being a parent. Every child is different. Every child comes with a personality. Every child, it's just all different. So as a teenager, also take yourself out of that and look at maybe your parents, they genuinely don't know. They were never told, just like she's saying, she doesn't know emotions. So showing emotions is very hard for her. So just think of your parents also. And we understand also what you're going through as teenagers.
Yeah, even for my mom, it was really challenging because I'm the only boy, so she's only used to girls.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like, yo, okay, how do I raise a boy? Like, I have no idea, you know. So she even said it to me that she only realized that actually, no man, I need to do things like this because of how I used to act. Because with my sister is so calm, like the perfect. Your description of a perfect child, hey, everything. But me, I started becoming rebellious, things like that. So she would be like, okay, maybe this is the time when I should actually, be open-minded as a parent.
Yeah, I think we're learning on both sides, right?
Yeah.
Parents are learning, teenagers are finding themselves. And also this, you're exposed to so much more than when I was growing up, I was exposed to, right? So I think there's so much pressure on you guys, like this
There's
unnecessary
much more.
pressure that's just sitting on your shoulders, like all the time. And we're trying to navigate through all of that, while still trying to raise a teenager who's going to be a responsible member of society.
Yeah.
It's such a difficult time for us parents as well as teenagers and those who are growing up to find themselves. But I'm just very conscious here.
Sorry.
We're gonna wrap it up because we need to move on very quickly. So Ram will just quickly wrap us up.
Yo, now for God's
I also wanted to say, also parents also blame teenagers for going to alcohol and drugs, but they also never understand why they go there. Because honestly, I'm gonna speak for most teenagers. I don't know if every teenager. Let me just say most. Most of them find comfort in drugs.
Some.
Please.
Because now I feel very included.
But it's most, honestly.
Most they feel comfort in drugs and alcohol because they feel like, oh, that's my comfort, that's the person that my mom was supposed to be, or the person that my sister was supposed to be. Like they feel that, oh, this thing is giving me love because I never received.
Wow.
Another point was that the problem with parents is that they paint this picture of you already before you even born. So if you don't like live up to that picture, you're wrong.
Yes.
Like whatever you think is not valid. So I feel like that's where the problem is and when it starts. When they start like wanting you to be this picture or nothing. Yeah.
Also, one more thing. Sorry. Also, parents also like to choose careers for their children, which is very wrong because children have a mindset of their own and interests and abilities of their own. So when you make your child choose that career, like I have a friend of mine, she's literally doing subjects that her mom chose for her. She didn't have a choice.
Wow.
She did them and her mom got very upset because she didn't live up to the 90% standard or the top 20. But she was really trying by all means. The only time her mom took her seriously was when she was in the same situation as me, suicide. That's when the mom started saying, oh, okay, my child
Is going through things.
Yeah. So I feel like parents should also consider the fact that I must know my child before I get to just make my child the same person that I wanted to be, you see.
Yeah.
I think this issue of suicide, of teenage suicide, is a very deep discussion that requires a lot of time to unpack, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of underlying factors that we need to consider, and it's not one size fits all. You go through so many things, like I'm saying, that you guys are carrying the world on your shoulders because of what you're exposed to. But I'd like to just quickly move on to the next topic because I think we're chasing time and we're chasing load shedding, which is about to happen now. We're living in that world now suddenly. Let's talk about peer pressure, guys. I've gone through peer pressure. I mean, I'm going to start with me, right? So Mina, when I was growing up, you wanted to swap for a second?
No, I was asking her if she's fine.
With Mahlatsi.
No, I'm still good.
You good, Mahlatsi? Okay, so Mina, I grew up in Kukwini, a Snake Park. At that point, it was informal settlement. There was literally one room of Mukuku. There was a kitchen, a living area, everything in one. Those who've lived in a Mukuku will understand what I'm talking about, right? And gradually we moved from one room Mukuku to a two-room Mukuku, where now I can have a sleeper couch and have a little bit of privacy of my own room. And that was for years. I was one of those children when a multiracial school started, I became that person. I was privileged enough to go to one of those schools. So you go from Umkuku into a multiracial school, right? And you've got transport that has to drop you off. Ekaya. They see you.
Yeah.
That's actually, I remember. I'm lying. I actually lied when I said I didn't. I think I had blocked that area in my life out when I said I didn't get bullied. Now I remember I actually got bullied because, okay, we're going to allow my friends to come in while
I'm squeezing
oh,
in now.
Wow, are you leaving her like that? I hope she's going to be fine. Okay, so it was literally two worlds of being exposed to these people who have money, multiracial school, then going home to a Mkukui and being laughed at by abanye abantwana. Now umuntu uyangena manje was she's going to start touching things, so it's very quick. Let's go. Okay, so I was talking about my experience, right? So my experience was, living in Kukwini and going to this Mount Horatio school at the time it was called that, right? And so being in a school with people who are moneyed and whatever, you go home, Ekai in Kukwini, and that on its own was such an experience, difficult experience to go through, because it kind of like having best of both worlds, right? The kind of poverty world with the balance of the rich, but you are not in the rich, but you are like exposed to the rich. That was difficult, and I couldn't keep up with any of that because we couldn't afford any of that. Even to pay school fees was an issue. Never mind keeping up with the latest brands and trends and whatever else was happening. Getting a phone, I mean, whoop, that was just a dream at the time. You want to say something, Romy?
Yes. I want to say that at school you're all broke. It's not your money, it's your parents' money. So everybody out there, you're all broke.
I love it.
It's not your money.
Yeah.
And so basically you're competing with things that are not ours.
You're not rich, your parents are rich.
Exactly. So stop.
You don't have a mansion, it's your parents.
Even that phone, it's not your phone. You own nothing. Like even the underwear, it's not yours. Understand? So I just feel like that even shouldn't be a part of peer pressure per se. Because if you critically think about it, it doesn't make sense.
But that's what we use, like that's the standard that we use for
what our
ourselves.
parents have.
And so I remember Mfunama cargo pants. I had to save up money. I'm 10 rand over time, and I remember at the time Identity I had opened the shop for the first time. It was still new. And then I think it was 120, and I managed to save up 120 to go back cargo pants because they were the latest thing at the time. But like obviously, by that time, how many people had it over months and months?
Even over it.
That's like
We're so late to the trend.
you know what I mean? So, I mean, you guys' peer pressure, have you experienced anything? Maybe have you been tempted to smoke? Have you been tempted to drink? Or... I see, I end up...
Yeah, I'm gonna speak there.
Yeah.
So in this generation, there's a lot of stoners, right? So smoking weed is that thing, this is the next best thing. And also when like you get pressured at school a lot, you just want to find comfort in something that will just calm you down. So then I started going with I've always had this thing, I've always been the naughty child. So in J, I experimentation in J, that was my end goal in J. I always had friends that would be like, let's do this. I remember in grade 4, I think I got suspended for cigarettes or something. Yeah, and no, listen, I didn't smoke the cigarettes, but I was a part of the group. So obviously, now they were like, this child. Yeah, but my mom believed me though, because I told her I didn't do it. And obviously I was young, so maybe she was like, okay. Then comes I think it was grade 7, 8, I went home drunk, and my mom didn't see that I was drunk. I just really rushed to my room, because I didn't want them to look at me. Then my friends' parents came, they were like, these two are drunk. I couldn't even look at my mom, I was so drunk. I was just looking at them like, girl, what are you saying? I hangover next morning. And my mom was like, how was the hangover? Guys, just stop.
You were embarrassed.
I was so embarrassed, like I didn't even want to face my mom because in G, that's not the reputation that you want to give your mom. And also, when was it? End of grade 8. Yeah, end of grade.
Things are coming out today.
Middle of grade 9. My mom went through my phone in voice notes. Then she found out, this child is smoking weed. Then she asked me, do you smoke weed? And I wasn't gonna lie, because very I just tell the truth. So I just say, yeah, I did. But luckily my mom, I wouldn't say she's chill, but she's understanding. So she didn't beat me. Luckily she didn't beat me. Very lucky.
I was tempted.
She was very tempted to beat me, but she didn't. I don't remember if she grounded me. I don't think she didn't take my phone. She was just like, wow. Yeah, she didn't. Let me tell you. Yeah, wow. She was very understanding. She didn't take my phone. I feel like she was just like, let me see where this goes. Then, again, this last year, my mom found out, when I unana uslen, because I I smoked weed, right, with like a group. And then my friend's father was passing. And then I was so high that I didn't see that he was passing. So he thought that I was smoking in front of me. And I didn't know that that was him because I was so out of it. Then my mom came to me, she was like, oh, so when now you think you're a scorer, go with your weed path, mommy, let's just see where that gets you. And also that day, I was very stupid because I did something, I didn't listen to my mom. I went home the next day, I slept in the stairs because I was trying to be a rebellious child.
You were trying to
I slept in the stairs, let me tell you, and it was raining there. I was cold, my friend didn't have a jacket. I gave her my hoodie, I put my dupe on myself just for blanketing Yana to Bambisa. Let me tell you, the way that rain poured me I dreamt of my bed, the nice hot shower, you know, the bubbles.
That's when you start to appreciate the whole.
I appreciate it. You know, I went home kiswabile, and I didn't even act like the nonchalant vibes that I always act like. No, kiswabile. I was like, yo, yeah, it's shy.
It's real.
And my mom said to me, next time you wanna do your runaway stunt, don't come back home. So from
You
then,
saw the
I was like, I would have a place to
But the
stay.
fact that you can talk about it, it gives me like you've grown out of that,
Yeah.
and I'm proud of you because some people it can go on until they're old.
And then that's when they see it becomes such a
Sometimes they
big
don't even
thing.
see.
Or realize when it's
Oh,
too
my
late,
stuff.
they've
Yeah.
ruined their lives, you know.
Yeah.
Also, my sister is the one who made me realize that I was being stupid because my sister really doesn't care how she says. She'll just say, "You're being dumb. Like, what are you doing, dumb?" So she made me realize, and I was so scared to go home. I asked my friends not to go home with me because I'm like, yo, my mom is gonna beat me. Today I'm going to hospital. Today I kick up on hospital today. So I went home. Luckily I sat on the couch. My mom came. I greeted her. She's just like, hello, Eshu. You know, with that face. Yeah, that stern look. I thought she was gonna take my phone, but yet again she didn't take it. Wow. So I used my phone, but then then another stunt happened. Then my mom took my phone for the longest time ever. Like my mom has never taken my phone for so long. I think she took it 7th December. I got it on the 1st of January.
Wow! That's what we like. That's what we want.
And you know what? I thought, like, I came from my uncle's place, right? I went to my granny and then we went to my uncle's place for Christmas dinner thing. When I came back, I was just so sour and I was so rude and like I just treated her like so bad. Like I would literally show her, I don't like you right now. I want my phone back. So if you can't give me my phone back, let's not talk. And my granny was also there at my house now. So I treated my granny nice. So my mom could just see what this child, young
Yeah.
And also I tell her in front of my friend, which was also the problem. I asked her to borrow her belt and I asked her very snacks like, yo, I don't know. I felt like I top on her like a stray cat, and that's not how you're supposed to treat your mom, even if you feel like she's wrong. That's period. Disrespect your mom, bro. Because black parents, they don't play that, guys. Just be lucky that you have a parent that doesn't beat you.
Oh, I wouldn't even be living here. I've been KZN. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Doesn't beat me. I've been KZN.
Yeah, but yeah, guys,
Yeah.
just behave, you know. And honestly, these things, really, alcohol, stop rushing into them. It's not worth it. That takes
How much is alcohol?
Also, and yakura, guys. This thing, yakura, the taste is not nice. Papalas is not
And
nice.
you know what? When I was growing up, at the age of about 18 or so, my father set me down. He bought, I remember, 6-pack everything. And he said, "Mntanami, ngifuna ukufundisa ukuthi kuphuzwa kanjani. Ungayohlanya mawufika lapha uphaphela utshwala." And he set me down. We drank with my father. And he showed me you can drink responsibly. You don't have to you mustn't dive into it. And at the right age, as you say, you wait your time. And your time will come. And anyway, and thank God he did that for me, because then I realized what is actually big about this.
What's so big
I
about
mean,
it?
I haven't drank alcohol more than a decade, and I have no, like, I don't have a craving for it. Like, I don't have time for it. I allow Nati to drink, she can go ahead and do her thing, but also she has been taught to she needs to do it responsibly. And don't leave your drink unattended because you know how things can go. But be responsible with everything that you do.
So I'm going to ask you a very interesting question.
Yes.
With everything that we've discussed today, right? Do you feel or do you think that we have good role models today in society?
I personally feel like it's hard to look up to. Like, there's no one I can say I look up to. Like, I'm really trying to also be that person in society that young people can look up to, because I feel like in this society, people are just creating hard things, and it's just, there's no one, it's really, no.
They also
It's the same as this thing of me and maybe an influencer. We have the same body type. Jiggy, she has a BBL. Like, how am I supposed to? Okay, should I like?
I was about to
You-
say.
You don't
I was about to say they're so deceiving nowadays.
exactly.
Yeah. You can.
Okay, we're going to call on Una to come join us.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Understood. I have a lot to say all the time.
Say always every
something I'm
topic.
really
Every
passionate
topic
about.
I have
That's what
something to say.
Okay, guys, just be mindful of time. So we're
Oh,
gonna move very
okay.
quickly through it, ne?
We're so
sad.
passionate.
Yeah, so you were saying Uneti because you want to.
So it's you guys started something and I wanted to continue. So
Which is what?
like what's, okay, no, I hear what you're saying
They,
when
they're deceiving.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. We can't trust them anymore,
Yeah.
unfortunately, because everybody comes out with some, like you just see, hey man, this happened to them, or you're just like, why did you do this? Why are you like this? You know, with
Yeah.
all these like, I'm not gonna
And
get
also,
there.
people's values aren't like, their values are just like, jiggy, you're good with your friends, then you're hurting your friends, then
Yeah.
you're following things that are breaking. Like, how can you make your kids just like, no man?
It's confusing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's really.
now. We just don't know.
It's like pick a personality or
Yes,
something. Like,
this world, it's become too modern for my liking.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to do something so badly. Like, it's sickening.
Also, we've just digressed from the truth. Also,
Yeah, there's no truth.
Have
Yeah.
we lost? Do you think we've lost humanity?
Yes.
yes.
Have we lost
Yes.
ourselves?
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
but I feel like I feel like in South Africa more as youth we try and get back to humanity, if I can
We
say.
trying
we
to
trying
slowly.
where I am right
In
now.
your circle.
I can't
Yeah.
I can't talk for the whole rest of the world. I can talk for my country and
Yeah.
where I come from.
So let me ask you this then. In having lack of role models to look up to, but understanding what I perhaps have some idea of what life should be and how we should be, as we talked about losing ourselves. Do you, in your own little circle, in your network, and your circumstances, try to be a role model in some way or another?
Yeah,
Definitely.
like in my friendship, I feel like we influence each other to be better more than saying it's okay, you can do that. No, do
Yeah.
better, be better. You can't just dwell in whatever or blame whatever. No,
Yeah, we're
We
very
speak-
honest.
Yeah, we're very honest. I
And
would
also
say.
stand your truth. Like, if you're gonna, yesterday you said you don't wanna smoke anymore, but tomorrow you're smoking. No, we're gonna call you out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, we have siblings. Let's also be
Yeah.
role models to
For
our
them.
siblings.
Yeah.
Because they don't have anyone to look up to. It's really hard, actually. I don't want to lie in this black community
Yeah.
as a black girl.
So
Because it's so hard. You're just seeing successful, but are you successful in the right way?
Yeah.
How did you get there?
Yes.
And like, some people that you do look up to, it's like, okay, they didn't work themselves into that position. They were helped, but it's not in the correct
Yeah,
way.
it's-
Like, it's really just sad. And it's just like, I want to show you that you can do it in the right way.
Yeah.
and also, like when they at that level, they gatekeep everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we literally have
There's a
nothing
lot
to
of
work with.
gatekeeping. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think, because she talked about siblings, my brother, he sees everything on YouTube and wants to implement it.
So that's what I was going to speak about, right?
So, that's what you want to speak
No,
about.
no, no. I was
Oh.
going to lead into that.
Because like now my brother doesn't have the correct way of this is how a guy should and can act. He thinks, oh yeah, all women, because now he's listening to this guy saying all women are gold diggers, and I'm like,
Same way where we
Who's-
say men are dogs, whatever. I mean, all
Because,
these
like, now-
catchphrases that.
what?
How old is
So,
he?
so,
I think
so
it's
that's
a
the thing.
phase.
So let me ask you this thing, because that was gonna be. You pointed to what I was going to. Social media, has social media affected how role models should be?
Yes,
Social
definitely.
media is the core of everything.
Then we look
They
for
lost
role
their way.
models.
Yes, they
Yeah.
lost their way as like it's okay. Let me just make an example now. When one person's mentality is a certain way, it's like a disease. It spreads.
Yeah.
Yes.
So a lot of people are gonna see that, but we are like this. So why should I not be like that? Let me be
Yeah.
like that. And then we see that, and then it's just a trend, and it's just
tiring, and there's no one is original
So
anymore.
there's no authenticity anymore.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
lost that.
And people go
We've lost that
to
realness.
outrageous extents to look like.
certain
Yeah.
person.
I remember this other man on TikTok. He's a wealthy man. He was saying, okay, so he's South African. So he was like, okay, I went to Sandton to get my wife something at this Louis Vuitton store. And then there were these two girls. And then they were like, can we please borrow?
Oh my gosh. All those fake check-ins and those. Oh my gosh.
So I was so shocked.
All those
like, hey,
Photoshop.
But
And,
that's
oh
peer
my
pressure.
gosh, guys.
That's
It
why
falls into peer pressure.
That's why I had that conversation with you of saying I don't know how to put myself on social media in a way where I don't look deceitful, or you just wanna
You
be
wanna be
sensitive with
Yeah.
your own brand and how you
Yeah.
wanna perceive
Yeah.
how people should see you.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like Bulu, come join us. Khanya can come sit here with me for a little bit. I feel like we need to wrap this up into a very important conversation as we end the conversation.
You actually
Come,
found a
Bulu,
way
come,
for what
come.
I'm also going through.
must both come.
Like how to actually put myself out there.
Yeah.
So say,
Like everyone, even on me, I've stopped posting on TikTok because I'm like, will I look like I'm trying too hard?
Are you
Will I
meeting
look
the
like,
standard? Things
bro?
like that.
Will I
and
look
you
like
also
I'm
want to create a name for yourself, but it's like, at what cost?
exactly? At what cost?
Am I lying?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, guys. So my last conversation with you, or my last topic with you, as we wrap this up. Yeah, Lona, she's busy. Is you spoke about it? You spoke about it, Ramu, about Let me read the line properly. What makes a teenager?
Yeah.
So kick us off with that.
So what makes a teenager? It's things like your foundation, peer pressure, the choices that you make, friendships, what you expose yourself to. Yeah. So all of those, they just play a big role in becoming who you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, friendship, right?
Yeah.
That can either make you or break you, depending on the circle of people that you choose, right? Which is also you could say part of role modeling.
Yeah.
Would you agree on that?
So you just asked me a question.
I think Bulu wanted to say something.
Oh, no, she can speak.
I didn't know.
No, I mean actually, you look like you had some commentary to make.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Like, I wanted to say, like, Ram was very right about that, like, friendship, like, yeah, friendship is a very big thing. And
Yeah,
you mustn't just let a person be in your life because you guys are close.
Yeah.
If that person is doing you wrong, you need to cut them out of your life, especially because it breaks things like your relationship with your mom, because now you're busy depending. Yeah, man, let's be bad, guys. Yeah, let's just do this. Mama won't find out. Yeah, you've adopted their attitude, how they talk to their parents, nje, just the whole aura you just adopted, and you don't see that you're the problem because you've become that person.
Yeah.
They say, show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
Yeah.
Very
When I was young, I was like, that is so stupid. Like, come on. But now looking back, I pray to God every day and I thank God for my friendships because there's a way that God, somehow we together, somehow we friends to this day because we've never influenced each other to make bad decisions. It's always
It's always been good.
till this day, I have the same friendships I had in high school and I'm grateful for
From
them.
grade 8.
And I also would like to add that, like, friendship is a family that you choose. It's people you
Yeah.
choose. So
Yeah.
if you feel like they're draining you, or if you feel like you can't show up, distance yourself.
Yeah.
And then maybe when it's the right time, you guys will come back together. Because I feel like if you're gonna like it's important to show up, because friendship it's about showing up and
Yeah.
choosing each other. It's chosen family. So if that chosen family is draining you, and that chosen family is you pouring from an empty cup because they're not checking on you or they're not growing your seed, it's time to cut them off.
And also, what I wanted to add is that the difference between being in a high school friendship and an adult friendship is that
Yo.
one need the adult friendship, you need to work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because high school, you guys just see each other
Every day.
Every day you do the same subjects, you
Yeah.
do whatever.
Yeah.
As soon as you get into that adult life, you need to work on that friendship. Don't just
Exactly.
think it's just gonna continue just because
Yeah.
you
Very
pour
true.
into each other's cup.
Very true. I thank you guys. I mean, I think we can continue for until the night and into
Yes.
the morning.
Yeah.
But
As
I
we
think
shall.
let's wrap it up. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing such deep, intimate, realness of yourselves and being authentic about it. It's really what our brand stands for. Is really to be yourself, to be comfortable in your own skin, and appreciate and celebrate yourself. So with that, I'm going to end the show, and thank you so much, guys. And I hope you
It's a
all
pleasure.
enjoyed it and
I'm
had
so
some
sad.
great insight. From all of us, we say.
It's not a movement, it's a brand.
It's not a brand, it's a movement.
It's not a brand, it's a movement.
That's just wrong.
That's just wrong.
It's not a movement, it's a brand.